is Lisa from Life in Layouts, and thanks for joining me for another process video. Today I have this Life is Good perfect pages from Keller's Creations that I'm going to be working with. And as you can see in that small little piece in the upper right left-hand corner, there is a guide to this, and Kim at Keller's Creations is all about very quick pages, and that's what is amazing about all of her supplies, is that she's really about getting our photos on acid-free paper, documenting them, getting our stories told, because that's the most important part. So I wanted to take this perfect page and spice it up a little bit and make it my own style. So I first decided to use this Heidi Swap color shine, and I added some of splatters to my white paper just to give it a little bit of spunk, because I do like not to have straight white paper. And then I'm going to take my paper trimmer and I am trimming out all of the straight edges that I can, because I don't know about you guys, but I cannot cut a straight line. So I'm going to use as much as I can as my paper trimmer, and then I'm going to go in and cut what I need to. Also, if you guys watched my unboxing video, which I will link below, for this kit, you'll remember that I told you that every circle that she has in her kits are either a 2-inch or 1 1/4. So it makes it super, super easy to cut out all of her circles. So as I am trimming through the rest of this and getting this all cut out, I did want to tell you that Keller's Creation is having a scrapbook sale for National Scrapbook Day, and she has tons and tons of things on sale. The first thing is she has a perfect page bundle, which that's what this is called, and you get to choose 5 perfect pages for only $35, which is a $50 value. And so you can pick out whichever one you like, and if you want to get this one or get any of the others, I think there's like over 100 on her page, which I will link or post a link below for that. And also you get a free printable just for going over to her scrapbook site and checking it out. And you get a free vellum rings with any purchase. And you get a Tell Your Story kit, which is an awesome, awesome kit with a $100 purchase. So I'll link all the details below for you guys. All of these offers end May 4th, 2019. So definitely check them out before they expire at the end of National Scrapbook Day. So I did put the image up there on the right for you guys to see how they suggested to use all of these paper pieces. I had a few different photos, so I did have 2 4x6 photos on the left, but I ended up with 2 4x6 and 2 3x4 photos, and I did trim them down. So I didn't have the right photo configuration for the right hand side, so I'm just trying to make it my own and try to figure out what works best for me. So I did leave all of this kind of playing around in, because there are several different ways that you can do this. So I kind of followed the image that they gave you there a little bit, but I wasn't really feeling that one. So you could absolutely do it that way. You can do it the way that she put it in the instructions on how to do it. I'm actually going to have another one here where you can do it like this. I added just a few images or a few different ways to do it there. These photos are from last fall. We took the boys to like a pumpkin patch, and they had a zip lining at the pumpkin patch that was specifically designed for little kids. So it wasn't that high off the ground, and they had a blast. And because the pumpkin patch wasn't as busy as it was normally, like we tend to try to go like earlier in October so we don't get a lot of the crowds that come along with going to the pumpkin patch later in the month of October. So because it wasn't so busy, they got to go again and again. And I think they got to ride this zip line like 4 or 5 times. And so they definitely had a blast, and they were thinking that life was good during this particular day and this particular time that they were there. So I thought that that was a perfect title for these pictures and for this layout to use this perfect page for these photos. So I think this is pretty much how it's going to end up. Like, I'm going to have the 2 big red and white strips on right below the 2 4x6 photos on the left, and then right above the photos on the right. I do end up switching around the orientation for that. So I wanted to add a little bit of dimension to my photos, but I didn't want to add an additional color, and I was afraid that if I even pulled out red cardstock or yellow cardstock that I would it wouldn't match correctly. So what I ended up doing was mounting all of the photos on white cardstock and then using my Salty Ocean blue distress ink. I distressed all the edges. So it just gives it a little bit of a dimension in the behind that white cardstock. So I do use Fun Foam on the 2 photos on the left. And once I get those down, I have to use my T-square ruler because that thing is definitely a lifesaver. I'm going to go ahead and adhere all of the other pieces down. So everything is down flat to the layout except for this blue circle with the arrows and that oh so happy circle on the far left hand side. And then on the right hand side, I have everything down flat as well, except for the 2 3x4 photos that I've trimmed up a little bit, and then these 3 or 4 little circles here that are in the red, yellow, and blue. Now I have this polka dot paper, and it's supposed to be a strip, a little strip on each side, but I wanted to add what looked like 2 12x12 strips. So I go ahead and paper piece the one together at the top there and then trim it off. And I'm just going to put one of the circles over the seam so you won't even see it, and then trim that off. And then I'm going to add it to the left side, and what I end up doing is adding it right to the top of the to that red and white paper, and I make it look like it's spanning across the page by tucking it under both of those photos. So now it looks like I have 2 12x12 or 12-inch, probably by half an inch strips there. I even had a little tiny piece left that you can see up there at the top. I pulled out some wood veneer because I wanted to add a little bit more depth to this layout, and I added those in the stars and the arrows, and then I also added a camera to the clusters that I'm going to start building. So I had this half circle left from what I cut out of on the right hand side, and I'm trying to make it work. I got a little sidetracked by the fact that that other piece that's sticking out there is the same pattern. So I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that. But I do end up using that oh so happy circle. I cut just a little tiny piece off, and you can see that I added it to the top of the right hand side. So that worked out perfectly. Gave it a little bit of color there. I purchased these stars, and they are very difficult for you to see in the layout from Tuesday morning. You can see them kind of in the top right hand of the layout. And so they are clear, and they're like plasticky. They're not really acetate. So I add one to the red and white stripe, one to the blue and white plaid, and then one to the yellow stripes, and then I just stapled those down. So you can kind of see the yellow on the yellow stripe there. I think that one stands out the most. You can definitely see them in real life. It's just kind of hard to see on the camera. I finally figured out how to insert that half circle over there, and I put some enamel dots in between them to kind of make them stand out a little bit. And I'm adding a few enamel dots to each one of my clusters. And that is it for me, guys. Definitely check out acidfree.com for all of their fun sales this scrapbook weekend. I hope that you guys are enjoying your National Scrapbook Day this weekend and getting lots of scrapbooking done. If you enjoyed this video, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. If you haven't done so already and you want to see more double page layouts, make sure you hit that subscribe button because that's all you're going to get on my channel. Thanks everyone and have a scrappy day.